It was the 2010s and a different time in its entirety. Anime was easier, even harder to come by, but there's no denying that there was always one that stood out every anime season. It was a golden age to be a weeb, and at this point, let's admit it that if you're into gaming, you're probably a weeb too. And if you missed the anime days of old, Echoes of Aincrad might be the game that could scratch that nostalgic itch to be a cool protagonist in the world of Sword Art Online. Dragon Ball, One Piece, Attack on Titan, and heck, even Pokemon. Games with manga and anime as source material would always give this impression that if it was cool, the game should accurately portray it. But back then, outside of a few standouts, game tie-ins felt more like a marketing stunt rather than something that should have been fun for an anime game. It makes matters worse when you remember that Sword Art Online is a franchise revolving around the game that has an anime and a light novel that you have to turn into an actual game, and the game about the game, as weird as it sounds, puts it at a higher pedestal than it should be. And for what it's worth, the demo for Echoes of Aincrad shows it was worth the wait, if you're a fan at least. So let's put things into perspective. Before anything else, we have to acknowledge that the Sword Art Online anime came out in 2012. And you know what game franchise also started somewhere near that time frame? Dark Souls. Dark Souls has to be mentioned as an inspiration because looking at the gameplay, Souls-like mechanics like rolling, customizable combat, and even stamina are present. Does this turn the game into Weeb Souls just like with Code Vein? I'd say even more so because at least you get the sense of immersion playing the game. Now we get back into Sword Art Online and how it relates to the game. In Sword Art Online, the entire plot revolves around players getting stuck in the virtual world of the VR MMORPG Sword Art Online using a neurological headset called the Nerve Gear. It revolves around Kirito, but here's the thing, in Echoes of Aincrad, you're not playing as Jesus-kun, but as another player also stuck in the game with him. He exists, by the way, with him even getting a call out as you play along.
Strong solo player called Kirito, I think.
But apart from that, the game is actually kind of fun, especially if you grew up playing the anime. Or, you like playing MMORPGs. If I were to call this game an anime, it's not Echoes of Aincrad, but that time I got reincarnated as an NPC. I don't even mean this in a negative way because it genuinely does have that sense of your progression in your ascent to glory. Knowing that Kirito exists though, I'm glad you could name yourself, as I aptly named myself Kiritwo with his presence in mind.
You can't keep getting away with it!
The game felt immersive from the demo alone, and it's not just in the world building, but in giving you that feeling of playing in an MMORPG world as if you were in the game itself. The grinding, the annoying teammates, mobs upon mobs of enemies coming after you with boss fights at the end of each dungeon. And even player killers and people you might actually encounter when you play an online game. If you told me that they actually made a Sword Art Online game that made you feel like you were Kirito, I'd believe them, because this is it. Now let's talk about some of the issues that I had with the game. While it was a fun experience, getting to try out different weapons and exploring the world of Sword Art Online in general, or rather the first floor of 3, which could have been 100 if I followed the series, does get tedious. Sure, you can run, but fast travel, which is a staple in MMORPGs, felt tied too heavily on storylines. Heck, I'd kill for something like a Flywing in Ragnarok Online because there's so much walking for a game that isn't that big in hindsight. The combat surprisingly didn't feel clunky, and that's something to applaud the game for. But the stat distribution when you level up being tied to in-town save points makes it a bit of a chore to trying to get stronger. When you're locked in a quest, you can't even go home and improve your stats to make the grind a bit better, and with quests being a drag, locking you into an area, it's gonna take a while. With the limited time I had with Echoes of Aincrad, I'd say this is a title that's very hit or miss with the amount of fun you'd have. As a weeb, it's pretty good all things considered. The demo legitimately lasts hours upon hours on end, and if you enjoyed it, you should consider picking it up as it gets released next month. If you're not into the whole power fantasy and world building aspect though, it's an easy skip. Like with the anime before it, the Echoes of Aincrad experience is pretty mid, but again, it's a subjective mid rather than an objective one. If you like the series or MMORPGs, get the game, but if not, you're not missing out on much. If MMORPGs put in the same amount of effort with these types of games, it would be a fun time for all. But hey, at least it put in the work unlike some games. RF Online next.
But the clock is ticking. Let's head back. Soon enough, this beta test will come to an end. But before it does, I intend to enjoy this place as much as I can. The floating castle, Eincrad.
For more content like this and other updates down the line, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.